Let's just go straight into box office breakdown. That's not really the name of the segment, though. That sounds pretty good, huh?
We should have like little segments.
Box office talk, trademark, right?
Dude, we you know how like Steven Crowder has like his segment where it's like, let's do 6 rounds and 1+1 because like when you shoot a pistol, there is like
one in the chamber.
There's always one in the chamber, so you always check in the chamber. And he has like a little animations. Maybe that would be like a little cute thing.
Get Jessica on it.
Well, I don't want to add her payload. Not payload,
to
workload.
I'm sure she would like to be added to the payload because that would be good.
Yeah.
So this is weekend box office estimates from Daniel Loria on Box Office Pro. This is where I get most of my box office information from. I found that it's interesting. The sites that I've, because we've been doing this for a while now, and I've read most of these sites for quite a while, but I've noticed that there's a difference between articles I like to read for fun and articles that I think are worth talking about.
Yeah.
Like anybody can hate read an article and talk about it, I guess, in a way, because it's very... I get emotional about when I read stuff that really annoys me, just like anyone. Not emotional, but, when something annoys you, you want to go and vent about it, right?
Yeah.
But... we can't really do that here. That's not really the goal of what we're... I like the idea of being firm on the things you dislike about Hollywood, but still trying to be as positive as you can be about things, because whether we like it or not, entertainment is kind of baked into the culture here in America.
Yeah.
Whether that's celebrities, movies, whatever. By no means, I give celebrities no leeway when they act stupid, but I don't necessarily go for the hate bait articles right off the bat. But what I found is that Box Office Pro, IndieWire, and Cinema Blend have become some of my favorites for getting articles, even though a lot of times I disagree with 90% of what I see on those sites. I find these diamond in the rough articles that I find very fun to talk about. And Box Office Pro is just good because they go with the box office in the straight numbers and stuff like this. So this says the weekend box office estimates for Spider-Man No Way Home crosses $600 million.
Oh, not bad.
In America. Ranking among the 10 highest grossing domestic hits, not of the pandemic, of all time. That is insane. Like, it feels like we should be done talking about Spider-Man, but it just keeps
Everybody
going.
loves Tom Holland.
They do. So it says, Spider-Man No Way Home cracked the top 10 highest grossing titles of all time, the domestic box office this weekend. The superhero sequel finished the weekend with $52.7 million from 4,206 locations. So they're keeping it in a lot of theaters still. That number hasn't dropped yet. Hitting for a total of $609.8 million in North America alone. It is the first film to cross the $600 million mark in the domestic box office since Avengers Endgame, and the first movie not released by Disney to cross $600 million since Universal's Jurassic World in 2015. Wow. First of all, that's kind of funny because even though it's not technically a Disney movie, it's still technically a Disney movie. Because it's technically part of the MCU, even though the majority of the characters are all Sony owned. But it's like apparently people can't get anything done without Disney these days, which makes me sad. Because
Disney owns pretty much everything. Like I was talking to Brian, and we were talking about the Will Smith documentary, like nature documentary. He's like,
what's that? What was that called?
I don't know. It's I think.
I never saw it.
We were watching it last night. Like we were watching clips of it.
Okay.
Where Will Smith, he's like exploring nature, and like Brian thought it was a Netflix property, and I was like, no, it's Disney Plus because now they own Net Geo.
Is it Nat Geo? National Geographic?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't. That was a cool abbreviation you just did there. You sounded very industry.
Yeah, but like Disney owns everything.
Was it called The Entanglement?
No, that's Jada Pinkett Smith. What's Smick?
Who's Smith? I have no idea. It should have been called An Entanglement with Will Smith.
Oh God.
And then just that meme of him looking really sad.
Oh God.
Poor Will Smith.
And it was funny. They're like, "Hey, Will Smith, guess what? August is coming around the corner," and it has the face where he's doing that interview where he's like upset.
Of course he is, man. He's just so sad.
Dude, I don't.
Poor him.
Like Will Smith genuinely like deserves like better.
Yeah, he does.
Deserves better.
I feel bad for the guy. I feel bad
and his
for the
kids are like insane.
Yeah, well, no.
But Willow Smith did release a new song.
Believe it or not, I don't have bell notifications turned on for anything coming from Willow Smith, but...
Well, I saw it passing by. YouTube was like, do you like listening to Willow Smith?
It's because Will Smith is considered a priority creator on YouTube, so him and his whole family probably get hella ad revenue, or hella advertising from the site. So...
Sorry, that was off topic.
Moving on. I love it. Spider-Man No Way Home earned $78.3 million from 61 markets over the weekend to push the overseas total to $759 million. Holy crap. So 759 overseas, $600 million in the U.S. My goodness. Top overseas earners continue to be led by the United Kingdom with $92.4 million and Mexico $64.9 million. That's interesting. Like, UK makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I always thought, like, the second or, like, third or fourth would be, like, Japan or France or something. That just shows you what an uncultured swine I am, right? Like, I was like, I didn't know. I always find it interesting what markets, what demographics go see movies.
Well, I know Japan loves Spider-Man because, like, they love how young looking he is. Like, Japan has a weird thing about, like having young characters. Because they love that wonder of being a child again.
It says the film is set to expand. That is true, right? The film is set to expand in the coming weeks, including opening in Japan. Okay, so it hasn't even opened in Japan yet.
Nope, they get everything really last minute. Same thing with South Korea.
You know why?
Well, I forgot. I was watching a video explaining it. I think it's because piracy.
Explain that.
So, like, South Korea and Japan, like, they're in the whole world, they are known for high-speed internets, and, like, Korea does a lot of bootlegging.
Okay, that's why you get a lot of subtitled bootleg. Some of the early better copies of bootlegs. Not that I've ever done anything like that.
I've
never. I mean, I'm not a pirate, and I've never ever sailed. I've never sailed the high seas ever in my life. Never done it.
Yeah.
No clue. I don't
know what he's talking about. I'm innocent.
Where is this bay, anyways? I've never been there, and I am no pirate.
I mean, get that burrito.
There you go.
Shoot your shot, kings.
We were discussing. We have a coworker who was discussing. Who sent us a message recently about. She watches the podcast, and she said half the fun she has is watching me react to the stuff Miracle says.
Yeah, one of her feedbacks is, like, she wants both of our screens to be closer together so she can watch us at the same time. But she's like... I
made the screens bigger in OBS.
Okay, thank you. Because, like, that was one of the feedbacks. Also, another feedback, they said, can you, like, back off, like, 2 inches from the mic?
Back off 2 inches from the mic.
There we go.
Well, good for them. So, okay, so back on topic, right? We're working on it.
Yeah.
So it hasn't opened in Japan yet. That's interesting. And it hasn't opened in the Philippines. So it opens the 7th in Japan, the 8th in the Philippines, and Slovakia on the 13th, Norway on the 14th. So it still hasn't opened in a bunch of places yet. It's Sony's highest grossing movie of all time with $1.37 billion and ranks 12th in the history of the box office. It's like number 12.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Sing from Universal, which I kept thinking was a Disney movie, but it is not. Sing added $19.6 million with over 3,892 screens. Its sophomore frame, a mere 12% drop from its opening weekend. That's really, really good. Lifting the theatrical run in North America to $89.6 million. The title is now days away from overtaking Disney's Encanto at $91.3 million as the highest grossing animated film of the pandemic. That is really cool. I always, call me annoying, but I always love to see Disney take an L once in a while.
Well, I like Encanto.
To root for you liked Encanto?
I like the music from it. It was actually cute, but it's like talking about, like, making the family better. Like, basically the villain is, like, being not listening to your family and not being close with them. So because, like, the grandmother has a high she has, like, a high like, she expects more from the family. Like, her older sister Isabella, like, she's perfect every way. Like, she can grow plants just touching things, and, like, she's supposed to be engaged to this one guy, but she doesn't want to. But her grandmother's like, you have to do it for the family.
So the whole point of the movie is that your family isn't important. Don't believe in family. That's awful. I disagree.
No. Like, they said, like, you need to communicate better. That's the whole part of it. They're like, communicate better with your family. Like, understand where they're coming from.
Yeah.
That's what I liked about it. Also, I'm very confused why they had triplets and one of them is a redhead.
Makes
you
no
got
sense.
some explaining to do, abuela.
That's, yes, that's very, very soap opera-esque.
Yeah.
To have just, one of these things is not like the other.
Yeah, because the other ones had, like, brunette hair, and, like, they have one random one with red hair. I'm like,
Have you ever seen the meme of, like, it's like a baby gender reveal, and it says, if it's blue, it's a boy.
No, I'm cutting it off.
Okay, you know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah.
Yes, if it's blue, it's a boy. If it's pink, it's a girl. We'll stop here.
But
But it goes the way you would expect that meme to go.
No, but also I searched up the reason why. So it says, why does it take 2 to 6 months for Japan to release American-made movies? And it says right here, going to the cinema in Japan is fairly expensive and therefore not quite common occurrence that other countries have it. Secondary reason tying into this, okay, they didn't put into together. That's why I was confused. Into this is that they wait for the movie awards to distribute. So they can then promote said movie in Japan as an Academy Award winning or such.
Interesting.
So that's why. So they do it because
I wouldn't have guessed that last one.
So basically,
does that mean does that mean that like Japan really cares about whether you win awards or not? Is that what they're saying?
well, I feel like it. I feel like they do.
Yeah.
Let me check for Korea also because Korea gets movies last minute too. But continue the article.
Yep. So the title has earned. So now they're still talking about Sing. 54 point. Let's see. We'll start up here. It says the title is now days away from overtaking Disney's Encanto as the highest-grossing animated film of the pandemic. The title has earned $54.8 million to date from 48 markets in its overseas run, giving it a global total of $144.5 million. It's very good. Ukraine leads the new list of openers for Sing 2 with 1.2 million. So it goes down here. Then we'll go to 20th Century's The King's Man. Moved up to third place in its sophomore frame with a $4.5 million take from 3,160 screens. So that didn't do too bad, considering that's almost that's over 1,000 screens less than Spider-Man, and much less name recognition. And only, it says right here, it says a modest 24% drop from last weekend's debut. That's a pretty good drop. That's not very much at all.
Yeah, no, it's not bad.
Nope. The film earned $19.5 million after 2 weeks in North America. Internationally, The King's Man has already earned $28.3 million from 22 markets. The film opened in several key markets this weekend, with third place finished so France, Mexico, and Spain, and then also Asian markets from South Korea and Japan. So $6.6 million from South Korea, The King's Man earned, and 4.8 from Japan, combining for over $11 million. So that's doing pretty good as well.
That's not bad internationally. And also, I want to correct myself. Actually, South Korea gets American movies first before any other country.
Faster. Yeah,
they get it faster. And the reasoning is South Korea is one of the top Hollywood movie ticket buyers outside the world of US. So they buy more movie tickets that are American-made movies.
Yeah, like we talk a lot about China's influence on the box office, but that's more like the tentpole films. They don't let because of the way the government is structured over there. They don't let a lot of American movies in. South Korea clearly does.
Yeah. So my bad. Correction before anybody hops on the keyboard
and
train.
Yells.
No, South Korea gets first dibs, and then Japan gets last dibs.
Interesting. Very interesting. So this one I was interested in because I still want to see this movie and I haven't yet, and that's American Underdog, which is the Zachary Levi movie about Kurt Warner, the pro football. He's like the oldest player to ever compete in a Super Bowl or win a Super Bowl. Finished in fourth place over the second weekend in North America. The biopic, it says $4 million in its sophomore frame from 2,813, reaching $15 million domestic. Tumbling down to fifth place, this is the sad one here. In only its second weekend, The Matrix Resurrection suffered a 64% drop to turn in its software weekend with $3.8 million. The sci-fi sequel opened day and date on HBO Max and only grossed $30.9 million in America since opening on December 22nd. That's really a bummer. The Matrix Resurrections is, however, finding better staying overseas with a 19% drop in its third weekend in Japan, where it has already grossed $9.7 million. But still, that's for how much that movie cost at well over $150 million.
Yeah, imagine like that budget going down the drain.
For just such a small return on investment. So it gives you a list here of, so it's Spider-Man No Way Home was number 1, Sing 2, The Kingsman 3, American Underdog 4, Matrix Resurrection 5, West Side Story came in 6th, making 2.1 million. That was only a 26% drop off, so that's not too bad. Ghostbusters Afterlife is still on this list. That's in 7th place. It's 1.45 million. Only a 17% drop off. So that one's still kicking. It's at a total of $123 million. So that's good hopes for people that want to see Ghostbusters Afterlife get a sequel, which I am clearly one of those people. I really want to see that movie do well.
What's the movie Come On, Come On?
I have no idea what that is. That's a good question, but I had never heard of it. It's an A24 film, so it's an independent.
That company also bought my favorite adult cartoon series. It's called Hazbin Hotel, but
we were going to cover that. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.